after 9 a.m. It is the 22nd Kamnandi of November 2021. Just 9 days left before we call it quits with this month and go into the last month of the calendar year. We are all looking at ending this year on a strong and on a high and on a power move and a power moment. So as we look into how we're going to do that, we make sure that whatever it is that we get up to, we do it with strength, resilience, and also with purpose. I think that's how best we're going to shut this year down. Regardless of how much work you see ahead of you, regardless of the things that you still need to get done this year, do them with power, do them with strength, and give them everything you've got, because that's how you're going to make sense of a year like this, which didn't start on a high, but you can definitely have your option to do so and close it off on a high. This, according to Julius Malema, who on Saturday defended some of the decisions the party has taken under his leadership. Among the criticism Malema singled out was his decision to have tea with former President Jacob Zuma, the call for open borders and coalition talks with the ANC, and some in the EFF blamed some of the decisions for the party's poor performance or performance falling short of expectations in the 2021 local government elections. Malema told supporters at the party's Siyabonga rally in Tembisa on the Saturday that those who believe decisions taken had led to the party's poor showing must wait until the next elective conference to elect new leaders. On calls for open borders, Malema said he was prepared to be removed from the EFF leadership in defense of this, saying he would not be part of those calling for foreigners to return home. He also sought to educate those criticizing the decision to have coalition talks with the ANC, saying he saw opportunity that could deliver some of the party's resolutions with speed. According to Malema, the party does not want to get into bed with the ANC, but of the numbers of the EFF got in the elections, the leaders thought they could use some of them to get the ANC to agree to pass some of its resolutions, including land expropriation without compensation, free sanitary towels for women, and clinics being open for 24-hour basis. Malema said that the ANC have tried to lure them with positions, but they have stood firm on the demands that the party had made before the coalition talks. Malema has also decided or defended his decision to have tea with the former President Jacob Zuma before his incarceration for refusing to appear before the State Capture Commission of Inquiry. Others were saying we lost elections because Malema went to drink tea with Zuma. What if that tea is the one that moved us from 5 to 3 in the KZN and in eThekwini? This asked by the leader of the EFF, Mr. Julius Sillo Malema. The Malamulele police station in Limpopo and nearby businesses were allegedly ransacked by armed suspects last night. The suspects reportedly stole firearms from the police station, locked the police on duty inside the building and in one of the vans, and at least 10 armed robbers stormed the police station in Malamulele last night, according to SABC News. The suspects allegedly locked several police officers in the station and reportedly stole multiple firearms, including 4 R5s rifles, 4 shotguns, 5 9mm pistols, and an undisclosed amount of ammunition, according to the anti-crime activist Yusuf Abramji. Hey, Safanga cash in transit heist. After leaving the station, the suspects allegedly proceeded to rob businesses in the area. Witnesses say they saw the group traveling in a bakkie. This is still a developing story, so we'll give you more of the details. But I mean, they definitely went on a spree because they had just incapacitated the police from actually being able to respond. I hope everybody in those businesses gave up what it was that they wanted and preserved their own lives, because we can always make things back, but not life. Dozens are left homeless after fires raised 400 shacks at the Kennedy Road informal settlement. In Durban, dozens of people were left homeless after the fire burned through the Kennedy informal settlement. Sbusiso Zigote, of the shack dwellers movement, abahlali basemjondolo, said the organization was devastated by the fire. While politicians are busy with talks of coalition and who will be in power, people will continue to be homeless due to fires when no alternative means for proper shelter can be given to them. He added that although they did not have any financial reserves, the organization would visit the affected area to assess the extent of the damage and to see what kind of assistance could be offered to the victims of the incident. Acting Divisional Commander at the eThekwini Fire Department, Thabile Zikali, said the cause of the fire was yet to be established. We were called to Kennedy Road about 2 p.m. after this afternoon to extinguish a fire. Although it's not yet clear what started it, an illegal connection is suspected to be the cause of the fire. She said the victims of the fire would be given temporary shelter at the Kennedy Road Community Hall. Zikali added that no injuries or fatalities have been reported. Councillor Themba Mkhize of Ward 25 said the area had experienced several fires. Unfortunately, this is a place where fires are common. Less than 2 months ago, about 500 shacks were burnt in the same area, said Mkhize. We will speak to the relevant bodies and discuss how we can address the matter. We will also speak to disaster management and ask for assistance with things like clothing and food items for the victims. Really, really, really sad to hear that, at a time like this, especially going into a season where families need as much accommodation and shelter. Their kids will need places to rest. And here comes fires, which are inevitable when, shack dwelling scenarios with houses so close to each other or shacks so close to each other. One spark could really affect an entire neighborhood. Following another 2 drowning incidents, the National Sea Rescue Institute is urging the public to practice safe swimming safety. On Saturday, one diver lost his life near the Western Cape's Betty's Bay, while another man died at the Table Mountain Silver Mine Dam. The spokesperson, Lambinon, said the silver mine drowning, the young man's friends had desperately tried saving him before authorities arrived. In Betty's Bay, Lambinian said that they became aware of the drowning after the members of the public were spotted trying to perform CPR. It appears that the man was free diving and may have suffered a medical condition. Despite numerous efforts to resuscitate the man, he was declared deceased by the paramedics. Very unfortunate and sad when lives are lost. In Johannesburg at Luthuli House, ANC spokesperson Pule Mabe said some of the ANC NEC members are affected by the party's salary problems. Mabe says some members are among the employees who have not been paid for months. Disgruntled ANC staffers are protesting outside the St. George Hotel in Irene, where the party's national executive meeting is. Your group or the group is demanding that the 3 months of salaries be paid immediately. We'll have to see how that goes. It is a continuing story and not something that is new that you've heard, but definitely something that is still happening, affecting the lives and livelihoods of those who are involved. And finally, further afield in this beautiful continent of Africa, Sudan's top general Abdel Fattah al-Burhan signed Sunday a deal with Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok to restore the transition to civil rule near a month after the military coup. The 14-point deal signed in the presidential palace in Khartoum provides for the reinstatement of Hamdok as the prime minister and the release of civil leaders. Hamdok has been under the armed guard since General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan declared on October 25 a state of emergency and ousted the government. A move that upended a 2-year transition to the civilian rule and sparked international condemnation. The house arrest of the Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok has been lifted and the forces guarding the house have been withdrawn. The move came after mediators earlier on Sunday announced that the military had reached its deal to reinstate Hamdok as the premier. The return of Hamdok, a British educational economist who has worked for the United Nations for the African organizations, has been a key demand of the international community. The power grab triggered a massive wave of street protests in which 40 demonstrators have been killed. But as news of the development broke, hundreds of protesters rallied against the military and ensuing crackdown witnesses. The main civilian bloc, which spearheaded the anti-Bashir protests and signed the 2019 power sharing deal with the military, has rejected Sunday's deal. We affirm our clear and previously declared position that there is no negotiation, no partnership, no legitimacy for the coup, said the mainstream faction of the Forces for the Freedom of Change in the statement. We'll have to monitor that, as we know that some of these things can seriously get out of hand in a short space of time. However, it is 29 minutes now before 10 a.m. Good morning, and that is your current affairs for the moment.